Hey guys, this is Scott from SamCart, and we are here live with John Flory, the president of Sama Labs, an agency that runs some of the biggest e-commerce brands on the planet. So John, appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time out to chat about SamCart.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys use SamCart to run your own billing, right? You guys said internally, and you found it because one of your clients, of which you guys said you have dozens and dozens of clients, who are doing what? You said 8 and approaching 9 figures in top line revenue. I mean, these are some big brands.
Yeah, I mean, we work with, startup companies that kind of want to find their way in the digital verse, and then companies that are doing very well into the 20, 50 plus top line, and they just want to keep scaling and be profitable.
Definitely. Awesome. So yeah, you guys are managing a ton of ad spend, I'm sure. You guys are doing all the big agency kind of things. It sounds like you're doing them on a hell of a scale as well, which is awesome. So so you guys use SamCart to bill your clients, which of course is a super important part of anybody out there who's considering running an agency. Can you tell them the quick story that you told me where like you're the president of this company and all of a sudden you find yourself spending, a sixth of your work month chasing down clients for money?
Yeah, so we, we're a pretty young agency. We're approaching 3 years, but we have our own e-com brands that we actually own ourselves. Have been running for almost 7 years. So from building a brand's perspective, we had that pretty down packed. As a young agency, we were kind of just, it was almost like the wild, wild west for us. And as we kept growing and getting more clients, we were doing all of our billing manually, and that quickly became more of a burden than it was helping us. And really one day I was sitting down with my counterpart, Ben, and we're sitting down and kind of banging our heads against the wall because we would personally be chasing down, clients and getting them to pay their invoices. And, as a kind of month-to-month agency, those months matter. That's kind of, that's paying your overhead, you got salaries, and it's just not something that you can really let it float for a month or two. So, we started looking for solutions. Fortunately, we came across you guys, and literally our lives changed overnight. Like, it was insane. And what I just explained to you off air was, if you can pick one thing that changed the course of our business, it was SamCart. It's as simple as I could put it. A lot of things have helped us grow, but this is one thing that really allowed us to get our hands off of this nitty gritty time sap of just banging on doors and getting people to pay their invoices. Allowed us to really focus on building the brand, building the agency, focusing on nurturing the talent that we had, really strengthening our services, our core offerings, and even beyond that. And this was the catalyst to that.
That's huge. Obviously, you, the president, doesn't need to be cold calling your clients and trying to get your money back in your pocket. Obviously, that's not the relationship you want to build.
We're still in the startup mentality. You always have to, kind of have a do whatever it takes mentality to be successful, and late nights and long hours. But we knew that we had to get our hands out of that.
Definitely. That's awesome. So walk me through, how do you guys if you're on a sales call, you're closing a new client or something like that. How do you guys take that conversation and turn it into essentially cash in your pocket using SamCart?
So we have, two kind of models. We have our recurring management model, and we have our, what we call like a one-time project model. Your websites, maybe a branded video, or a photography project, branding project, things like that are non-recurring. And SamCart allows us to kind of split the herd between, setting up a recurring product versus a one-time product. So what makes it pretty seamless is that we have different tiers of management depending on services that we're providing. And we have a consistent type of package. So it makes it really easy to duplicate a product, brand it to that business, and then send them a, kind of a personalized link to let them finish it. And then I, obviously get the alert that they paid, and then we go through our onboarding process. For one-time projects, obviously businesses have the option of paying in full, which make it pretty easy, obviously. Or we can set up in deposits. So I know that, when a project's finished and we're ready to release the asset or whatever it is, they give me the green light. There's a cool add to order option, so I don't have to ask for the card info again. And then it's just boom, within seconds, you're done, they're billed, they're invoiced, and then the project's out the door.
Absolutely. And that's, I don't want to like breeze past that. For anybody who wasn't listening or isn't familiar with that, inside of SamCart, for every customer you guys have on file, SamCart, of course, saves all their credit card information. And so you guys are using one button inside of your SamCart app to add to order, is what it's called, right? But you are charging a customer, finishing, you've taken a deposit and now you're finishing the order, something like that, but you're going to go ahead and bill them for something else with just you having to do it. You don't need them to go back to a checkout page, put anything else in there. That's freaking, I mean, that's why it's there. That's exactly why it's there. But that sounds like it's been a big time save for you guys. And certainly, I'm sure chasing less money around on unpaid invoices. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about working smarter, not harder. That's kind of cliche, but we also use like DocuSign, for example, and then we have kind of a waiver when a project's finished, just so we can really get the legalities out of the way and a client's really confirming, yes, the project's done. Yes, you can bill me and use the card on file. Because sometimes obviously they change their card or fraud, whatever it is. And it just gives us that green light to do that. And I don't have to ask questions. I don't have to bother them with anything. It's just literally a couple buttons and you're done.
Oh, it's outstanding. That's exactly why it was built, exactly why it's there. Love hearing that you guys are out there making it happen, that it's doing exactly what we want it to do. So very cool. I love that you guys are spinning up. Can you talk any more about like the customized experience that you're creating? You talked about, I'm going to spin something up for a customer. It's going to be customized. Even the price maybe is customized, but then what else do you guys do to that page before you send it off to a client to make it feel like, oh, wow, like this was made for me. Look at this. Like, the pages you're making with SamCart.
Yeah. I mean, we don't get too crazy with it.
Sure.
There's a bunch of templates obviously that we can choose from. We have kind of our go-to template that we use. We tailor the scope of work. I forget the name or the style of template that we're using, but on the left-hand column, there's just these bullet points that let you to really summarize what it is. We do have our formal like contractual scope of work that they do sign, but that's a good way to summarize what they're getting, so they can kind of, it reaffirms what they're investing in with us. Then they plug in their card info, and we just ask for billing info, name, email, phone number, because we do have some internal email marketing that we do for ourselves with current customers and prospects. So for current customers, it's a good way for us to get that email, sync it up with Klaviyo, and create a funnel or a flow that educates them on some things that they didn't know maybe we offered for some reason. Maybe it just didn't come up organically in conversation, or it just wasn't pitched for whatever reason. But if we have certain things that get positioned a certain way, they're like, holy crap, I didn't know you guys did XYZ service. I'm interested. So that's just that where it starts allows us to do other creative things with their experience with Sama.
Yeah, it was just awesome. I mean, you're pinpointing different things that are built into SamCart, and this is the reason we built this thing come to life, right? Is to make this whole thing easier, to help you do it by yourself or somebody else with no dev help, like that kind of thing. So that's super, super exciting to see. So
yeah, I want to add to that too. Yeah, sorry. So when we were introduced to SamCart, my initial impression was like, is this platform good for us, right? Because it seemed like it was more driven towards people that were offering courses or doing these kind of like one-off landing page type products. And when I got that gist, I looked past that and I saw that the automated portion of it had more value than any other. And I tell you guys this all the time when I talk to the team. There's probably 80% of SamCart that I'm not using that could probably benefit me. But the automated piece of it is worth its weight in gold,
Which is awesome. And that's, what you're referring to, anybody who's not familiar, is the SamCart integration engine is what we kind of call it internally, right? But it's basically just the idea that whenever something happens throughout the whole life cycle of your customers, right? They're going to buy a new product. They're going to purchase this one-click upsell. They're going to have their subscription, charge down the line. They're going to, maybe a subscription fails, like all these different events that you can just do whatever you want in all of these other tools. So you just, this infinitely kind of customizable system. So you guys mentioned you're connected with Klaviyo specifically, right, for email marketing, stuff like that. Is there anything else you guys are using kind of on the automation side inside of SamCart that's helping you save time or make things easier, whatever else that on top of that you might be using?
No, not yet. I mean, we've talked internally about potentially one day offering our own like Facebook ad training course. And we kind of had peace of mind that if we did go down that road, SamCart was pretty flexible for us to add that to our, current mix.
Sure.
But aside from Klaviyo, no. I mean, we're not currently doing any sort of SMS right now. trying to think what else.
It's getting more popular. I think that's where a lot of people are starting to add that in with things like, and it might be a little different. Obviously, you guys on the agency side don't have a lot of what we call prospects, right? Someone who's going to come to your page and then abandon. You guys are way more targeted and specific, right? But you have plenty of people who are starting to do SMS campaigns for their prospects, cart abandonment, stuff like that. But yeah, that's obviously something for you guys can decide it at a later date. But that's awesome.
I mean, we're Platinum Klaviyo partners, so great relationship with them. They're always there to support us, kind of like you guys are. And right now we use either Klaviyo or Attentive for SMS.
Right.
But for our sales cycle and kind of what we're doing, SMS is probably a little overkill for the most part. So we just haven't done it.
Yeah, you guys are doing plenty of in-person touch and in-person all that stuff anyway. So but that's great. Love to hear that SamCart's been able to help you guys close more clients, close them quickly, spend less time chasing people down. Obviously, all of that amounts to more money kind of in your pocket and everything as well. Is there anything specifically about like the data that SamCart provides that you guys find valuable? Obviously, there's a lot of different reports and things like that inside of SamCart. For you guys, maybe it's even things like Subscription Saver that's out there kind of making sure that decline payments, which I'm sure are pretty big on a month-to-month basis for you guys, are not walking away from you in the middle of the night that, someone's out there and SamCart automatically trying to save that money for you guys. But data is a big piece of what we do. So is any of that serving you guys well? Is that something anything you can call out to?
Yeah. Obviously, we get to see, lifetime value of customers over a certain period of time. We're very fortunate to have pretty long life cycles for the current customers we do have. And especially not being a contractual company, everything's month to month with us. So it's a really good positive indicator for us when we look at the lifetime value, right? And then the other part I'd say is the flexibility of the rebilling on this for subscriptions.
Right.
From time to time, and especially what's going on right now, clients might have problems with inventory. And they're like, look, I got to pause my ads for 2 weeks. Can we just, push things back a little bit? And, we don't want to obviously ever put any of our clients in a predicament where we're like, nope, got to pay us. Like, and then that's not the experience we want them. So that gives us an ability to change like a billing date from like today, for example, July, was it 7th or 8th, to let's say we want to push it back to the 14th or the 15th. The platform allows us to go into each subscription individually and change the rebuild date that's coming up in how many days. So that's a really cool feature. We've used that a ton. And then obviously if a client changes their card info, things like that, we can just hit the button, sends them a email to update their card info, or we do it manually. But from a data perspective, I'd say probably other than lifetime value, we're not really pulling anything else right now.
Hey, that people like what they like. It's like, obviously we create this whole big pie and it's like, everybody's got a different piece that they kind of really zero in on. And it's kind of like, that other stuff's cool. But it's like, it's what served you guys. So that's awesome to hear. But awesome. Well, John, I really appreciate the time. Any last call outs, anything? Obviously the people that are going to be watching this video, right, are going to be probably people who are agencies or maybe aspiring agencies right at that point, who are just want to hear your opinion, things like that. Is there anything that you would tell them specifically if they're considering using SamCart for their billing or maybe for a client or something like that?
Well, I mean, going back to what I said before, it's been a huge value add for us, just for our day-to-day lives. I looked at other platforms out there, and pound for pound, I mean, there really wasn't the competition for what you guys have built compared to what other SaaS companies are positioning as an agency billing software. It wasn't an apples to apples comparison. So you guys definitely have done a really good job building a strong platform with great features for agencies like myself, and then people that are trying to break out of that mold and try different things. It's really contained into that, a one size fits all model.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, John, really, really appreciate the time. If someone wanted to go find out more about you, more about Sam Labs and what you guys are doing, where can they go online to find you guys?
Yeah, everything for us is on our website, which is sama-labs.com. We got a great portfolio there, select work. All of our services are outlined there. And yeah, I mean, we have social media as well at Sama Labs without the hyphen for Instagram and Facebook. And of course, LinkedIn, you can find either myself or the business there too.
Awesome. Very cool. John, really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for coming out and just sharing and taking time out of your day. For those of you guys watching this video, really appreciate it as well. Make sure you check out, I'm sure there are more videos all around this page, as we'll have plenty more experiences from people like John running agencies, things like John was saying, course creators and, physical product seller, all kinds of different stuff. So thank you guys for watching this, and we'll catch you in the next video.